Hello, and welcome to episode 209 of the Casual Try Hard podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm James.
And I almost forgot how the intro went there.
It's only been 4 years.
It's been rough. As I tell my students, don't get old. It's like being young, but nothing works.
Yeah, like my computer tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry if there's some issues during this show. We'll apologize in advance.
We shortened the pre-show because we were like, we don't know if the computer will make it all the way through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I've been texting it pretty heavily lately, so.
Yeah. So Wizards finally got around to releasing their mechanics article.
Yeah.
On the day spoilers started. It usually comes out a few days before.
Yeah, typically we got to remind you guys what the mechanics do because there's so much time has passed in between the mechanics episode and our set review, but like our set review is going to be next week, so.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that today, going over the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get at us on social media and say hi, you can find all those links in the description: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, some T thing.
One of the twits, right?
One of the twits.
Yeah.
All those are there.
And like I said, we're going to be doing our set review episode next week. So if there's any cards you want us to specifically make sure we address in the episode, hit us up. Any of those places. Discord's probably the best, but any of those places will work. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll talk about it. If you want to support the show, there's two ways you can do that. The first is our TCG player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Follow that link on over, and anything you purchase after that, we'll get a percentage of to help keep the show going. If you want to support us more directly, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg is where you can do that. Patrons get access to our show notes. They get access to our pre-show, which was a little short this week. Sorry. Hopefully my computer will iron itself out and it'll be better from now on. Fingers crossed, at least until I get a couple bucks squirreled away to upgrade it here. Patrons also get put on my mailing list for when I have cool stuff to send out. I just got the give back sent out yesterday, so you guys should be seeing them by the time you're listening to this. Maybe not because of the holiday. Hopefully shortly.
Yeah.
You guys will be getting those in your hands. Patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg if you want to chip in and have access to any of that stuff. Or if you just want to tell us you like us, that's a good way to do that too. We also have our YouTube channel, CasualTryHardMTG on YouTube. You should go check it out. Bryan posts up there 3 times a week. It's mostly limited content, although you did mention that you were contemplating some constructed stuff.
Itching to play a little bit of standard, to do like degenerate things in standard, but we'll see if that comes to fruition.
Yeah. The podcast also gets posted there on Thursdays, a video forum where you can look at us. That's especially important for next week when we do our set review episode, because we bring the cards up on the screen so you guys can see what we're talking about as we're talking about them. And I do my Tomfoolery Tuesdays, where it's a lot of historic Brawl lately. So if you want to check out some historic Brawl, Casual Tryhard MTG on YouTube, come check us out. Subscribe, leave a comment, like a video, all that stuff that you do. You got anything else for the housekeeping, or we good to move on?
No, we do need 3,700 more watch hours.
Oh, that's all?
To get to our to meet the metric of how many watch hours, and we need 900 more subs. No problem.
Sure.
And we can monetize this YouTube thing, and we'll be on our way to retirement. Bugattis in everyone's garage.
Is that how that works?
I think you like monetize your YouTube, and then it's just Bugattis
dollar bills
for Bugattis for as far as the eye can see.
Excellent. Good solid
again,
German brand.
That's what I'm gonna tell myself.
Yeah.
Seems very, very much like how it works, right?
Yep, I think so.
No, I think that's all we got.
So yeah, we got some mechanics this week. They did I don't even know what you want to call it anymore. The pre-release video, pre-spoiler video. They do all these weird videos now. set announcement video. I guess I don't know what the actual term for it is. But they did a stream where they like released this video today. And in that video, they went through all of the mechanics for this set. And there was like an accompanying the article that they normally come out with. They released alongside it. So we're gonna walk through here. There's only one new or one returning mechanic. Everything else is new.
I thought there were 2, but I could be wrong.
Well, I guess the completed planeswalkers are the second.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I feel like some of them are just like reskins of old mechanics, but
oh yeah, or twists on mechanics.
Yeah, it is kind of what it is. Like you can't avoid that.
Yep.
So we're gonna start with what I assume is fixed infect.
Yeah.
Which
it's somewhere.
Toxic.
Yeah, it's toxic is somewhere in between infect and poisonous.
Yeah. So, toxic is anytime a creature deals combat damage to a player, that player gets a number of poison counters equal to that creature's toxic number. So if it's toxic 1, they get 1 poison counter. It doesn't matter if your creature deals 4 damage or 1 damage, they just get the number of toxic counters or the number of poison counters that the creature has toxic.
Yeah. The example they gave was Paladin of Predation, 5 green for a 6/7 with toxic 6. So if this thing ever touches you, you get 6 poison counters. I guess, like, how different is this from poisonous? I know that's like a super old mechanic and nobody remembers how it works, but isn't this just poisonous? Like they had a number with poisonous, right? Like Marsh Viper was like poison 2 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get stuff to load here.
And that's kind of weird if that's what they did. It's just like the exact same mechanic with a different word.
Did poisonous did it deal damage as well?
I think so. The Marsh Viper? Was that the original?
There are 2 cards that have poisonous. Whatever. So poisonous. I'm looking at Virulent Sliver here. So whenever a sliver deals combat damage to a player, that player gets a poison counter. A player with 10 or more poison counters loses the game. That is for Virulent 1. Or sorry, Poisonous 1.
Maybe that's not the card I was
Poisonous
thinking of.
3, whatever. So here, an enchantment that gives Poisonous 3. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player gets... Yeah, so is Poisonous dealing damage? Or is it just giving poison counters?
Well, it gives poison counters when damage is dealt, right?
I guess. Yeah. No, I think it is maybe just a hard reskinning of Poisonous?
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, and looking at the rules stuff, yeah, it looks like it deals damage and
weird that they would do that.
You know what I bet you the difference is? I think the way Poisonous is worded, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player gets a poison counter. Is it a trigger? Is it you deal damage, trigger goes on the stack, get a poison counter?
Maybe.
Where this is toxic, just deals it all at once.
Yeah.
Right, where it's happening at the same time.
Yeah, that's a strange change to make, though.
Yeah,
although I mean, guess it's less clicks on Arena.
Or less waiting.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a card with... Card with toxic and reminder text. No such thing on. Oh no. Players dealt combat damage by this creature also get a poison counter.
Yeah.
So I think it's all one thing.
Yeah.
There's no trigger.
Yeah.
But effectively just a reskinning of poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
So, my head immediately went to, now I forget his name, the bad 2-drop, the legendary uncommon 2-drop that with Death Touch from Keldheim. That it's a 1/3 that gives 2 poison counters.
Yeah, Finn the Fangbearer.
So, like that into the I don't know if officially spoiled 3-drop.
Yeah, the 3-mana 4/4
with that proliferates. Ugh. I'm gonna have to say that word a bunch. Proliferates. When it hits.
Yeah.
Right, like this mechanic, unlike Infect, encourages like double strike and trample.
Right, not actual power.
Yeah, so you don't want to give it +3/+3. You want to give your creature double strike,
right,
to get the toxic, the toxic value twice.
Mm-hmm.
You want to give trample because it doesn't matter if your creature gets in for 4 damage or 1 damage again. Same exact example. It's just that it gets that one point of damage and gives the poison counters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of a different way to build Infect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, like you said, it kind of fixed. It's
because I think that they didn't intend on Infect on people getting like turn 3 comboed off the planet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they played an unblock. Though I don't know what they thought they were gonna get when they made Ink Moth. What is the guy?
Blighted Agent.
Blighted Agent. Yes, Thank you. Oh, the unblockable Infect guy. Oh, what could anyone possibly do with that?
Right.
But yeah, so I think it's their attempt to fix it. It's interesting. It also makes limited better.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that came up on the Arena Decklist podcast, which was like, Infect, if you were in like the Infect color pair, right? If you got your opponent to 8 Infect and they killed all your Infect creatures,
there might be never win the
7
game.
creatures, 8 creatures in your deck that don't have Infect.
Right.
So you did like no damage
to
your opponent. So this, they have to worry about their life total and their poison counters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it'll play better for limited. You won't be in a situation where you're like, oh man, I have one more Infect creature. I really have to get there.
Yeah, it's also, I don't know if it's less well known, but a less common occurrence that Infect also deals damage to creatures differently.
Oh yeah,
deals damage and -1/-1 counters to creatures, so like the damage base never heals. And this doesn't do that, so they deal damage to creatures as normal.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that Infect thing.
Yeah.
But it was a take on Wither.
Yeah.
So yeah, Infect did a lot of interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are moving towards Hearthstone. Damage not going away does feel very Hearthstone.
Hearthstone-y, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Magic's supposed to change forever this year, so maybe that's how Magic is changing forever.
Every creature is a Teferi.
Yep.
Time Raveler, just you can't play it instance.
Yep.
We are Hearthstone now, dog.
There's no spells anymore, just creatures.
Just creatures.
Yep.
All right. Then we have Corrupted, which is kind of tied to Toxic.
Right.
So Corrupted is an ability word that highlights an ability word that cards will get stronger when your opponent has 3 poison counters.
Or more.
Or more.
Yep.
Yeah, so your goal here is to get to 3 to turn on an ability of this card, kind of like weird metalcraft.
Yeah, I think the line of thought here, I believe, was that they made poison worse, so like there needed to be another incentive to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the other incentive is there's a couple different kinds of corrupted bonuses. There's some that are like just static abilities that are turned on when your opponent's corrupted. There's some that are an activated ability that's kind of unlocked when your opponent's corrupted. And there are also instant and sorcery spells with corrupted. I don't think we've seen one yet. But the article says that they exist, so I would imagine that would be like corrupted kicker or something.
Yeah, where the spell does something extra if you have reached corrupted.
Yep. Reached corrupted.
Have you reached corrupted?
I think Wizards has been corrupted.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to look up what their example was. Did they give? They gave a land.
Yeah.
So the Seed Core was the example. It taps for colorless. You can tap and add 1 mana of any color. Talking for a pseudo living. Spend this mana only to cast Phyrexian creature spells.
Yep.
And then corrupted, it is reverse Pendlehaven. Target 1/1 creature gets +2/+1 until the end of turn. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters.
Yep. That's
and
weird.
Then there's
I hadn't thought a bit of reverse Pendlehaven, but that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
It's also a sphere. Are there things that care about spheres in this set? Is there anything that cares about spheres?
I've seen multiple spheres, but I haven't seen.
I just noticed that.
Yeah, but I haven't seen like a cloud post.
Yeah.
Payoff kind of thing.
Interesting.
I don't think.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I've not seen that yet, but it'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that the post decks wouldn't be too like cloud post would not be too good in modern, but what do I know?
Yeah.
So they just give you a little bit of a bonus, and I do think you're all right. They need to lean into this toxic mechanic.
Yeah.
Because like toxic it's weird in that it's either gonna be very strong or unplayable, right?
Yeah.
It's either gonna be a limited mechanic or crazy good. And I don't think there's gonna be like a middle ground.
Yeah, I agree.
Because something that you don't think about, right, is for Infect, it basically was like all of your creatures had one more power than, or double their power, actually.
Double strike.
Yeah, because you only needed to deal 10.
Right.
Right? Here, you only need to deal 10. Right? And you are, and you're still doing regular damage as well.
Yeah.
And so, like
looking through what's been leaked or spoiled or whatever, it seems like most of the cards with toxic have a toxic value equal to their power. Most of them. I guess that 4/4 is only toxic 1, but
it's sneaky toxic too, though.
Right.
Yeah, but like, you know, if you're able to like focus on, it seems like it's a white mechanic, a green-white archetype. White often has like random cards that give double strike.
Yeah.
Right, so like now you're in the situation where you're like, oh, my Toxic 2 thing, I get it in, I get 4 counters on you.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can do the rest of the damage with, Proliferate or something.
Mm-hmm. Some other way.
Yeah. So like the Toxic 6 guy, I know we've just gone back to Toxic, but the Toxic 6 guy, like, that is effectively the same as making a 12/7. Right? Like, you only have to get hit twice with it and you die.
Yeah.
Right? So, or
a 5/7.
being, well, for 20 life, right? If you're at 20 life.
Well, right, but you only need 10 poison counters.
So I know, but so Toxic 6 is akin to something with 12 power. Because you, like, double it. It's, like, twice as effective. It would have to be, like, a 10/7 to kill you in 2 hits.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a 7-mana Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, right? If it hits you twice, you die.
Mm-hmm.
And Ulamog has extra package.
Also, it can't be chumped.
Yes, can't be chumped. So, double strike and things like that go a long way on cards that with Toxic. Because then it's kind of like quadruple strike.
That's right.
Which I'm sure will be the next unset mechanic.
Yeah. What was the last one? Was triple strike?
There was triple strike, and wasn't there like a slow?
Yeah.
Where it dealt damage after regular damage? Was that some zombie?
Yeah. Oh, unsets.
Yeah. So, Corrupted is one of those things that, like, if
last strike, it was last strike.
Last strike?
Yeah.
Corrupted is only as good as Toxic is. If Toxic is good, Corrupted is good.
Mm-hmm. Well,
right?
I mean, I could see a case for Corrupted being better than Toxic, though, depending on what the Corrupted abilities are. Because I would imagine it's a lot easier to get a couple chip shots in early with Toxic than it is to close a game out once your opponent has some defenses up. So Corrupted might be better.
Reasonable. Next up, we have the Morrow's teased ability or keyword with punctuation.
For Mirrodin.
We have for Mirrodin. So this is kind of just living weapon.
Yeah, it's kind of living weapon.
It's living weapon plus. There was a time where there were a bunch of 2-mana artifacts that came into play and made a 1/1.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like you attach to the 1/1.
Yeah.
Right, this is the same kind of thing.
Yeah, was Core 20?
I think there was like the red one that you could sack and ping.
Yeah, the mask.
There was the white one.
Mask of something.
Mask of Immolation?
Yeah, I think that's it.
And then the white one.
Yep.
So, this is just, they could have done with this without a keyword.
Oh, for sure. This is, I think it's closer to like a flavor keyword like we had with AFR, where like the abilities had ability keywords. Is that what I called them? Yeah. Like the abilities had like a flavorful name to them that didn't actually mean anything. I think that's all that this is. This text could have just been like part of the card.
Yeah, but you gotta make it fancy.
Sure. They needed that fifth mechanic.
That sneaky fifth mechanic, yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't think there's anything tricky to know about this, right?
No. Right, it's just gonna come in, trigger, make a thing.
Yep.
And you only attach it to that creature, so if the creature dies from underneath it, that's not like you have to put the equipment somewhere else.
Right. And it's a ETB effect that goes on the stack, so if somebody kills the equipment, you still get the nerd.
Yes.
And it's a 2/2, which is also different from Living Weapon. Living Weapon's made a 0/0.
Yeah, but the equipment for Living Weapon was better-ish.
Yeah. I mean, this preview that they gave is pretty good. It's Blade of Shared Souls, 2 and a blue. And it has 4 Mirrodin. Whenever Blade of Shared Souls becomes attached to a creature, for as long as Blade of Shared Souls remains attached to it, you may have that creature become a copy of another target creature you control with equip 2. So it's like a clone that you can move around that comes with a body for 3 mana. That's pretty good.
Okay, what is this now? Oh, this, okay. I was thinking there was like a red-white card. I was like, I remember it cloning, but yeah, no, you're right. Okay, this one actually has a reasonable equip cost.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing the red-white one. I just looked in the article here. What's the red-white one?
Yeah, so it is 1 red-white for an equipment that has 4 Mirrodin. You gotta do it right. And it I was trying to read a number on a card, and I zoomed in way too far on my screen because I'm old and can't see.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, there we go, Blade Hold, War Whip.
Okay.
1 red-white for an equipment, 4 Mirrodin. People are gonna love that. Equip abilities you activate of other equipment cost 1 less to activate. Equipped creature has double strike, so it's a 3 mana 2/2 double striker,
and
it has equip 5, 3 red white.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can almost treat these like the is the mana cost for the equipment is that creature that I'm getting.
Right.
Would I be happy with a 3 mana 2/2 double strike?
Right.
Yes. For the most part.
Yeah.
Would I be happy with a 3 mana clone?
Mm-hmm.
And that card, what was
Mirrorpool Mimic?
Yes. Like that card was kind of playable in standard.
Mm-hmm.
And like before humans decks got more humans, it was an honorary human.
Right.
So I think that it is like, so you can look at the Blade of Shared Souls as like, would I be happy with a 2 mana 2/2 that gets to copy something?
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, a 3 mana 2/2 that gets to copy something. Yeah, probably.
It's probably pretty good. It's interesting that we've seen it a lot. They keep like reiterating on old mechanics. Because we just had Reconfigure.
Yep.
Which is pretty similar to this as well, where it comes in as a creature and then you
make it an equipment.
Yeah,
here the creature gets to stay.
Yeah,
if you
leaves the body, but
yeah, but no, same basic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Maro's been doing this for 20 years.
That's true.
At some point, you have to like start running out of ideas, or like you go back to your file and you're like, oh man, these ones suck.
Yeah, there's only so much powdered Red Bull you can sneef.
You can snort. Yeah. Just got cans of Red Bull drying.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I need it uncut. No dilution, man. Straight taurine. All right, man. Calm down.
Yeah. Whatever you say, Maro.
All right. Whatever you say. We also have oil counters. What are oil counters? And are they slippery, Greasy Jockey?
I would imagine they are. They're also basically nothing. It's a weird thing. They could have been called anything. And we've had counters in the past that were kind of like this, didn't we? That like aren't really anything. It's just an object for things to care about.
I said that this reminded me of brick counters.
Yes, brick counters. That's
So
a good one.
if you were playing Hour of Devastation Amonkhet,
Mhm.
they had a mechanic where like you would use an artifact and take brick counters off.
Yep.
And then once all the brick counters were gone, it did something different.
Yeah.
Or you had ones where you put brick counters on and you built up the thing, and then it did something better.
I think the difference here is that brick counters were only ever a threshold, and like now the number of brick counters matters. And there's also cards that like can move oil counters around. So if you have, I imagine some giant like hulking behemoth war machine thing with that needs oil counters to keep going, you could fuel it with other oil counters cards.
Yeah, there's a thing that's like remove this many oil counters to do A.
Yeah.
Remove one oil counter does A, 2 oil counters does B, 3 oil counters does C. And then like there are cards that are like, you know, move a brick counter, move an oil counter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to charge counters, right? Where they just kind of like, you know, change the name because there's a thing that like moved charge counters from thing to thing, and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, yeah,
there's a couple cards that have like weird fading with oil counters too, right? Is there a cycle of them?
Oh yeah. There was a card. Here it is. Found it. It's not officially spoiled. I don't know. Cover your ears or something. So it enters with 4 oil counters and it loses 1 each turn. If it has like 3 or 4 oil counters, has trample as long as it has 2 or fewer oil counters, and you remove an oil counter each upkeep. So it's like an undercosted beater.
Yeah.
That slowly fades away, but at the end, its last 2 turns, it has trample.
Yeah.
So yeah, where it changes. So if you want to keep this thing around, you need to like keep putting oil on it.
Needs to be super slippery.
Super duper slippery.
Yep.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's just like a take on charge counters. You're just kind of, it's almost like energy, where it's like an on the table resource that you can move around. You can gain in some places and spend in others.
Yeah.
But instead of the oil counters going on you, the oil counters go on some permanent that can shift them around.
Yeah.
So it's just like another like thing to track.
That's what we needed. More things to track.
More things to track. We still need to make that brawl deck that makes clues, food, treasures, energy, poisons people, oil counters. Got to get some brick counters in there.
Game objects.deck.
Charge counters.
Yep.
Okay. Velocity counter.
Oh, yeah.
You know what gives velocity counters?
It was the vehicle from Kaladesh, right?
Like Oval Chase Dragster.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say Speedy Ballista, but I think you're right. I don't think Speedy Ballista.
I could not remember a student's name today. I like described her entire life history.
Yeah.
Could not remember her name, but I remember Oval Chase Dragster.
Priorities.
This student is in my class this semester.
I hope she's not listening to this podcast.
I mean, I kind of hope she is. Like, we need the listeners, man. Let's more ears. Let's go. But yeah, wait, great prioritizing, Brain.
Yeah,
good job. So I think it's just like a game object to move around.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
A little bit easier to track because it's like on the table.
Yeah.
So
we mentioned this one earlier when we were talking about toxic, but it also works well with oil counters because it can manipulate the oil counters. And this is a returning mechanic, proliferate. We had it last at War of the Spark,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a Phyrexian mechanic before that. Works the same as it always has. When something proliferates, you choose any number of permanents or players and put one counter of any type for each type of counter they have. You get to pick and choose what permanents and what counters get added, is the long story short.
Yeah, I mean, this set has more than normal planeswalkers.
Yep.
And it is a good mechanic with planeswalkers.
Mm-hmm.
And this set has infect.
Yep.
No, sorry, it has toxic.
Toxic.
And so this is a way for you to like push that last little bit of infect damage
without having a
poison counters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
right,
works
like
with whatever slippery things you're doing.
Yeah. But like, so you could just put like one poison counter on someone, never attack again.
And just
proliferate your way to victory.
Proliferate, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way like to give things oil counters that aren't supposed to have oil counters.
Maybe.
Because like, I think Greasefang probably needs an oil counter.
Fair. I now have your Tuesday tomfoolery.
Give the greasy boy some oil.
Can we give the greasy boy some oil for his shop?
Yeah.
How does the deck win? It wins when I put an oil counter on Greasefang.
Hover bike.
Yeah, hover bike. So like there's experimental augury, which is, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna use words that no one has ever liked. Strictly better anticipate.
Yep.
It is 1 in the blue for an instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest of them bottom of your library in any order. Proliferate.
Yep.
So, proliferate on this card literally costs 0 mana.
Compared to anticipate, yep.
Yes. This is a card that has been printed before, and they just added something extra to it.
Yep.
No reason to play anticipate before this. Definitely no reason to play anticipate after this.
Correct.
We have better anticipate.
Yep.
We also have impulse. So if impulse is the bar, they took 1 card off of impulse to add proliferate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you remember the announcement of mechanics for War of the Spark? They did it live in front of like an audience. And when they said proliferate was coming back, the crowd exploded.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were like, oh my god. They're screaming, clapping. Because they're like, it's a mechanic that's really good with planeswalkers. And there was like murmuring in the cloud. It's proliferate. Oh! We need to get back to that, Wizards. We need
people
to get
being excited, or people being excited about proliferate?
People being excited, because if you're gonna get excited about proliferate, you'll get excited about anything.
Maybe that was the problem.
We need to get back to like people being excited about mechanics.
Yeah.
And like that again, the gathering part of things. But I just like seeing proliferate and then just remembering back to War of the Spark and people being like, oh my god, proliferate's back, and now it's just like,
yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Here's the mechanics list that we screwed up and spoiled a quarter of the set before spoiler season started.
Yeah.
You guys already read all the reminder text. Here you go.
Yeah, just rub some oil on it. It'll be better.
Yeah. You can't remember what you saw. It's too slippery now.
That's right.
And
then there is one more mechanic that wasn't mentioned in the article, but has been a mechanic the other times that we've seen it, so I figured I'd include it here. And that's completed. We got a whole bunch of completed planeswalkers that are new for this set. And that works the same as it has. Except that we have one planeswalker with double Phyrexian pips now. I think that's the first time we've had that. So the way completed works is there's a Phyrexian mana symbol in the casting cost for the Planeswalker, and if you choose to pay 2 life instead of the color mana that it is, the Planeswalker will enter with 2 fewer loyalty per 2 life paid. Other than that, it's that's the same as we have.
If you're going to come in with 6 and you pay the 2 life instead of the mana, it comes in with 4.
Yep.
So there's been a video Seth has a short on YouTube. Sorry, Saffron Olive has a short on YouTube where he talks about completed being a replacement effect, and that if you have Vraska and Vorinclex, that when you play Vraska, if you've paid the completed cost, you get to choose the order so that it could come in with 6 counters, get doubled to 12, and then -2 for completed. But like the way it reads, I don't know if that's right, but he's like done it in 2 videos, so I must be wrong.
I don't know.
The Planeswalker enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters, so it feels like those 6 counters never arrive to get doubled.
That's what I would assume, yeah.
But he's talked about it being a replacement effect, so I don't know. I guess I haven't looked at the rules for completed.
Yeah, that's strange.
To see like, hey, I'm a replacement effect or not. So I was kind of gonna take his word on it, but it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So let's look at a Johnny sleeper agent here. It is a replacement effect, and it applies only to a permanent that is entering the battlefield with loyalty counters. Any replacement effects that would apply to the number of loyalty counters it enters the battlefield with will apply as normal.
Weird.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess so. Because like I read it as like it would come in with. Yep. So, all right. So there you go. You can double them, then subtract.
Yep. Well, good to know, I guess.
Yeah. So basically, the thought is that like Vraska, that got spoiled. So Vraska, has completed and is 4 black, Phyrexian black, and has a 0 of draw a card, lose a life, proliferate. So it is effectively a +1. -2 of a creature becomes a treasure.
Okay.
And then a -9 of, it's a wordy way of saying your opponent ends up with 9 poison counters. Okay. If they have 1 poison counter, they get 8. If they have 5 poison counters, they get 4. They just end up with 9. So apparently, Vraska and Vorinclex, you can play Vraska or like ultimatum for Vraska and Vorinclex. If they give you Vorinclex from Vraska, she goes to 12. You ultimate, you give 9 poison counters. Vorinclex doubles that. Oh. And you can one-shot your opponent.
That's cute.
So, in theory, your ultimatum can never be like you make your pile Vraska, Liliana, Vorinclex.
Yeah.
They can never give you Vorinclex.
Right.
Because either Planeswalker and Vorinclex, you just die. So you just get Vraska and Lily, and you're like, okay, I guess I will win the game with this now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. And I think, like, I don't remember what Lily's plus is, but getting to, like, add extra loyalty to her with Vraska.
Yeah.
Is pretty solid.
Lily of the Veil?
No, Lily, Dreadhorde General.
Oh, okay.
So, like, that's the
The pluses make a zombie.
Plus is making zombie.
Yeah.
It's +1. But like if you get to go like Lily +1, go to 7. Phyrexia +1, Lily's at 8. Phyrexia +1, Lily's at 9. Alt your Lily.
Yeah.
You have to like wait a turn to leave your opponent with a land.
Right.
But that's probably fine.
Yep.
So
interesting.
like you just basically your ultimatum can win the game any number of ways.
Yeah.
You have a pile that wins wins it any number of ways.
Yeah, get the 7 mana, win the game.
Yeah. Oh wow. So I'm just here. Remember Lily Dreadhorde General, the Japanese version?
Yep.
Guess how much the Japanese version is now. It was like 1,000 for the regular, like for the Japanese one, right?
Yeah.
Or was it's only 120 now.
Wow. Well, the foil was 1,000.
Okay, I'm trying to find the foil now. I'm having difficulty finding the foil. Keep looking. Or is this the foil? I'm not smart enough to do this, apparently. It does not seem like it is that much anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Did you see this? I posted it up in the Discord, that foreign language Atraxa that was leaked.
Yeah, I looked at it. It seems fine.
Well, there's a notable thing in the
yeah
card. And I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, and I don't know if it's accurate or not because it's a translation.
Fair. I mean, we can talk about it, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, or what it could be.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to talk about the whole card, but it refers to specific card types and how you can have one of each card type. And then it lists the card types, and it lists them as artifacts, battle, creature, enchantment, instant, land, planeswalker, and sorcery.
Battle, you say?
What's a battle?
I don't know. Oh, so the pre-release Dreadhorde Generals were 4,500.
Oh, okay.
The regular ones, there are no foil regular ones. There's only the pre-release.
Gotcha.
Okay. Anyway, I don't.
So, do we think this is a mistranslation and battle is supposed to be tribal?
Maybe that would make sense.
Because tribal is a card type that is not listed on the card.
It is. So that would make the most sense. Because it would be weird for them to just like have a new card type and then not have it in the set, unless. So I think yours is probably most likely, but they have the little goofy, weird like mini set.
Yeah.
Like it could like be something from the next set.
Well, yeah. I mean, they did that with Tarmogoyf, right? We didn't have planeswalkers, but they called out planeswalkers on Tarmogoyf. And then they also made a big deal about saying that Magic will never be the same after this year. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, battle could be a thing, but it could also just be tribal.
Yeah. I'm like trying to. I went someplace else to look for I went to MTG previews to see if they had that card up.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like they're only dealing in legitimate Wizard sponsored previews.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not, because to see if they had a different translation.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not see one. So I think it being tribal, and it seems like tribal is a word that you could like translate into battle.
Yeah, I don't know I guess this
not
is
that I
Spanish.
not that I know jack about whatever language this is in.
Spanish?
Uh,
Betala? Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Cannot. So, that would be interesting. I know that, like you said, Magic will never be the same after this year, so they could be adding battles.
What do you
Which
think
I
a
guess
battle would do? Like
Some sort of weird knockoff saga.
Enchant World or something? They're
Yeah,
bringing
we just
back
brought back
Enchant
Enchant World.
We called it something
because-
else.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's just called something else.
Kind of like for Mirrodin.
Oh, here we go. Very first thing on Mythic spoiler. Someone said mistranslation battle should be tribal. No. Then other people are like, no, tribal is just tribal in Spanish.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I imagine we'll figure it out pretty quick here.
Is tribal a retired mechanic?
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's retired or not. It's still a card type.
Still a mechanic, yeah. Still a card type.
Retiring it doesn't like remove it from the game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe battle is something in what is the next one? March of the Machines.
March Machines, yeah.
Right, like they're marching, they're battling.
Maybe
they're bringing the big pains.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that would fit with Magic will be changed forever.
Yeah.
We've made a new card type. So, yeah, we did.
I mean, if that's the case, it's weird that they didn't list tribal as a card type because
it is still a card type.
It is still a card type.
Yeah. But
unless that's a change in like comp rules, like how would they?
It's tribal, not a card type. Well, then that would break Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
Here, let it. So it is. It is still in the comp rules according to the MTG wiki.
Tribal is? Yeah, but that probably won't get updated until the comp rules update comes out.
Through Brothers War.
Yeah.
Oh wait, does it say permanent or card? It says card type, right?
I think it says card type. Yeah.
Okay, it says
card type.
Yeah, no, it. From what I know, yeah, tribal should be there and battle would be new.
Yeah.
So.
None of that matters for how good this card or bad this card is. It's just
no.
I thought it was interesting.
It is weird that they would not count it.
Yeah.
When they're laundry listing the card types.
Right.
For them to just go like, yeah, we're not going to laundry list that card type.
Yeah.
Right, that just seems silly. Man, I really wish I would have opened an alt art Japanese lily. In foil. I could go for $4,500.
You and me both. I got
how
a
sweet your
computer I
would
need
be.
to rebuild, evidently.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't catch on fire when I'm rendering this video tonight. If you hear fire trucks, it's me.
Oh no, don't say that.
Well, I gotta drive past. Oh no, I guess they don't have to go past your house. There's one on the other side of me.
They did sneak another mechanic in that they didn't have in the thing.
What's that?
Battle Cry.
What has Battle Cry?
It is an elite card.
Oh.
It is Rhea Ivor, Bane of Bladehold. 2 white-black legendary creature, Phyrexian Knight. Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
Interesting.
And then it has, at the beginning of combat on your turn, the next time target creature would deal combat damage to one or more players in combat, prevent that damage. Damage is prevented this way, create that many 1/1 colorless Phyrexia might tokens with Toxic 1. And this creature can't block.
Weird.
So, yeah, so like, Battlecry was on more than just Hero of Bladehold, right?
Yeah, it was a
It was a mechanic in the other.
Yeah, the one that saw play in Affinity.
Oh,
What's his name?
Signal Pest.
Signal Pest, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, so like it has been a mechanic. It's weird. I wonder if they only put it on one card.
Maybe.
And then they were like, well, the reminder text is good enough that we don't have to list it as a mechanic.
Still weird though.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of Battlecry cards.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I guess there are, I say a bunch. There are one from like a mainline set. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm assuming 5, 6, 7. There are like 6 or 7 from Mirrodin.
Yeah.
Or Mirrodin Besieged or whatever. So not a ton. And then there's been like a couple in Commander sets, a couple in the Warhammer 40k decks, and then a Modern Horizons one. So, like, yeah, it's like a real mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to disrespect Garbage Elemental.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Garbage Elemental.
Can't forget about Garbage Elemental.
Yep.
Thank you, Unset. But yeah, so it seems they just snuck one in on us.
Yep.
So other than like battle, things seem pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I got one more thing we can talk about before we wrap the show up.
Okay, hit me.
It's not a spoiler to talk about the completed Planeswalkers, right?
I think they've released them all.
Yeah. So, completed Jace.
Yes.
We need to call him Locutus.
Locutus?
Yeah.
Why?
He's Locutus of Vryn. He's a Borg, man. Look at those eye things coming out of him.
He's a Borg. Okay, let me...
Yeah, like zoom in on his arm and look at the eye stalk things. He's a Borg.
He is a Borg. Zooming. This is the biggest Jace has ever been. I guess he does have weird little eye things coming off of him.
Yeah.
This is interesting that they're like kind of indirectly killing Jace.
I don't know that they're actually killing any of these Planeswalkers.
Yeah, it'll like, I don't know. Are they gonna go to like Ixalan and like find out? They can go back to Kamigawa and Greasefang can like operate on them and pull out all the metal.
Something.
They'll go to Hey, because like what's it? Kamigawa Neon Dynasty was a cyberpunk world.
Yep.
So there had to be Ripper Ducks.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Got to take your chrome out.
That's right.
Yeah, so there we go.
Jace here went too hard on the chrome.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone needs to watch the cyberpunk anime.
It was actually really good. If you haven't seen it yet.
Very good.
Yeah.
It was very good. Speaking of, this would have been a pre-show thing if your computer hadn't been weird. Did you watch, no spoilers, did you watch The Last of Us?
I did not.
Oh. It was good.
Okay.
It's very good. It's on HBO. I don't know if you have HBO.
Yeah, I will add it to my list.
Yeah, it just started this weekend.
Okay.
So it's only one episode in.
All right.
If you played the games, it is like the first few hours of the game pretty faithfully recreated.
Okay.
But
maybe
of
I'll
course,
put it on while I'm rendering tonight and hoping my computer doesn't catch on fire.
yeah, as you put cool damp cloths over your case.
Yeah, I'm
Stay
just
cold, buddy.
blowing on it.
There you go. And that's it for the ASMR podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jace is part of the Borg now.
Yeah, I think he's Locutus. I'm just going to call him Locutus.
All right. So with all of this, I think we have a show.
We have a show.
So your homework for this week is to send us cards that you want us to talk about in our set review episode that should be next week based on how fast spoilers are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure spoilers are only a week. I'm pretty sure that's the timeline.
So get at us with those on all of our social media links, Facebook, email, Twitter, Discord, all that stuff's in the description. So go check that out and give us some feedback and let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. If you're looking to support the show, there's two ways to do it. The first is our TCG player affiliate link, tcg.CasualTryHardMTG.com. Head on over there. Whatever purchasing you're going to do will help support the show. We'll get a percentage of whatever you check out at. And we'd really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you guys anything and really helps us out. The second way to support us is through our Patreon, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in if you think that we do a good job and you want to hear more from us. And you get access to some cool stuff. You get access to our show notes, so you know what we're going to be talking about in the upcoming week. You get access to our pre-show, which is us hanging out before the show, making sure all our equipment's not on fire, and kind of just catching up. And then you also get access to the givebacks when I send them out. I try and come up with some cool stuff to send out to the people that are supporting us, typically bi-monthly, roughly. And they just went out, so hopefully all you patrons are looking forward to it and enjoy what I sent you in the mail.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yep.
So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internet.